Summer is for reading novels, and today we've got an action-packed book for consideration. Joining us from Israel is best-selling author Joel Rosenberg to preview the Libyan Diversion, his newest political thriller that is ripped from the headlines. Good morning, Joel. That is not a green screen behind you, right?
No, that is the legit old city of Jerusalem, 3,000 years old, the city of David, the city of Jesus, the prophets, the priests, the kings. Yeah, that's and you should come and come visit this 75th anniversary year.
Actually, I
of the
have,
modern state.
I have a friend who's actually been there and been to not only the wall itself, but also where they go around the big square. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, the Temple Mount, right?
Yeah, he has been there too. Yeah, Anthony.
That's great.
So what is the inspiration for the new novel?
Well, the new novel, The Libyan Diversion, is a political thriller, and it's about terrorists from the Middle East, unfortunately, coming into the United States, not by hijacking a plane, not by getting in, in some other weird way, just walking across the Mexican border into the United States. That's what worries me, and it comes out of a conversation that I had several years ago with a friend of mine, happened to be the former CIA director, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. I'd gotten to know him when he was in Congress because he was a reader of my political thrillers. He enjoyed them, and he said, let's have coffee. Who knew, how influential and powerful he'd become? But he said, Joel, you've written about Russia and Iran and North Korea and all these threats. You need to focus on the U.S.-Mexican border because increasingly it's being controlled by drug cartels, organized crime syndicates, human traffickers preying on vulnerable men, women, and children. And the danger is that terrorists are going to enter the country and do something maybe as bad as 9/11, maybe worse. And so that's why I wrote The Libyan Diversion as a war game, to try to imagine, not that I want it to happen, I'm not predicting it, but when I look at that border, I think I'm not trying to be a partisan, I'm trying to be a patriot and say, this is what could happen if we don't get serious about the security threat of just letting anybody in and we don't know who they are. Most people aren't dangerous, but some people are.
It's interesting. You talk about the southern border. I worry about the northern border too, but that's another story.
Well, James. God bless you. That's in the book too, but because the southern border is in the news right now, I'm talking about that. But I'm an equal. I was just with the U.S. ambassador or the Canadian ambassador to Israel, and we were talking about it. And I said, well, I'm an equal opportunity offender because the Canadians, that border is a risk too.
So how do you research a novel that mirrors so many current events?
Well, one of the blessings I've had, and it's just crazy. I grew up in a little town of 5,000 people in upstate New York, right? So I didn't have powerful or wealthy parents. I didn't have, I wasn't a military guy. I didn't have those skills. But selling 5 million copies of these political thrillers, it turns out not only normal, regular, wonderful, extraordinary, salt-of-the-earth people are reading them, world leaders are reading them. Pompeo was one of them, but I got invited into the Oval Office to meet with the president and the vice president. The King of Jordan has become a fan of my novels. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, former President George W. Bush, 3 former CIA directors. So what has happened, James, is I do research, but I'm also learning a lot by the people who are reading the novels and saying, hey, let's have lunch, let's have coffee. And they are a treasure trove of information. But it means I also have to up my game, because it's one thing to hold your attention, but how do I hold the attention of a CIA director or a king? So it's a little crazy, but that's what I'm trying to do, and the Libyan Diversion's the latest one.
Now, Joe, what role can fiction play in educating readers about world events?
Well, fiction has a way of capturing people's imagination in a way that listening to someone give a speech or watching C-SPAN or reading an op-ed, for most people, they're not going to do it. And they don't want to pick up a book about radical Islamist terrorism or the U.S.-Mexican foreign policy, blah, blah. It all sounds so like they know it's important, but they don't want to do it. But a thriller is a thriller. My job is to give you a near heart attack. My job is to keep you up all night reading one chapter after another. They're like Pringles. You can't eat just one. And now it's 6 a.m. and you're tweeting me curses. Oh my gosh, I've been up all night. I got to go to work. I got to go to school. I got to care for the kids. And oh, I hate you, Joel. That's success. And you'll learn things that you didn't expect to because you're having fun and you're not asking, hey, when's this class over? How does this class, when does this class end? You're saying, how does this story end? Then I'm doing my job.
So after this education, what is the reaction you hope people will take from reading the novel?
Well, the first thing is I want them to send me the tweet and, and just take, rip my hide off. Then I want them to say, okay, wait a minute. This is the 5th in this particular series of these Marcus Ryker novels. He's a top CIA operative. I should go back and read the other 4. I want to understand all the other adventures Marcus has been on. And then, yes, pray that none of my novels ever come true, because they really they're war games. I'm walking you through worst case scenarios. I'm not predicting them. I don't want them to happen, but they're what could happen if, God bless them, the idiots in Washington don't take seriously protecting the American people and our friends and allies like Israel and our Arab allies around the world. This is a very dangerous time.
All right, Mark, here we go, Joe. We're going to take it from the reading book to the big screen. Who do you see playing Marcus?
Oh, wow. Well, we actually have a development deal right now on the Marcus Ryker series, starting with the first novel, The Kremlin Conspiracy. So I can't speak to it, but we've got a draft script, we've got producers. I don't know if it's going to go the whole way, but whether it's the big screen or a Netflix or Amazon or Paramount series or whatever, streaming series, I don't know. But Marcus Ryker kicks butt, and but he's not an assassin, James. He's not James Bond. He's not Jason Bourne. He's not, he's not an assassin. Mm-hmm. His training is as a Marine. His training is as a U.S. Secret Service agent. His instinct is to protect. And that makes him, he can certainly kill people, with his thumb, as it were. But he's not hunting people usually. Usually he's trying to outfox the bad guys and stop these attacks before they hit his country and the values and the people he loves.
Well, it almost sounds like Tom Cruise, but he's a little bit too old to be playing this character. I kind of like the guy that plays Jack Ryan. I like him as far as the series is concerned. I also
John, yeah, exactly. Well, Tom, look, Tom is about to come out with another, $200 million Mission Impossible, but he's only got 2 left in him, and he's already filmed them. So we're looking for the next guy. Marcus Ryker is him, but look, I'm looking for who should play him, but I can't talk about it publicly.
Well, I can, so I'm gonna try it one more time.
Okay, bring it.
Even Michael Fassbender comes to mind a little bit too. So that's what's in my head. You know what? I'm thinking of, Guardians of the Galaxy. You know who I'm talking about. That's a possibility too.
Well, you got Chris Pratt, but Chris Pratt just got signed on to another series. You've got Ryan Reynolds, for example, who we think of as funny and romantic comedies and whatever, but he was in a movie called Safe House.
Yes.
Where he played a junior operative in the CIA, and that was a side to Ryan we had not seen. There are people out there. The challenge is thrillers are a big business, and the question becomes, a lot of these great, exciting actors, they want to be a franchise character, and there's some of them are already picked up. So we're looking for who hasn't defined themselves yet as an action hero, and this is a gritty job. This is not James Bond. This is a little darker, a little messier, a little real world, but it's intense.
You know what? I have to say this. You say it's not James Bond. From Sean Connery all the way up to Pierce Brosnan, but I gotta say, Daniel Craig took it to another level.
He did.
He did.
I was a James Bond fan of the novels and the books, but they became campy. They became ridiculous. Actually, that's what I'm referring to. Daniel Craig, and God bless the producers, realized this isn't going to work. If Jason Bourne can kill you with a ballpoint pen, I don't think we can go crazy. We can't be campy with James Bond. He's a great character. And Daniel Craig did a great job, but he's done.
Yeah, you're right.
So now the question is, what are they going to do with Bond? But they've been doing it for 50 years. I'm not worried about them.
Yeah. So both of you guys have a challenge in front of you, and I'm looking forward to see the outcome of this challenge.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the Libyan diversion and your audience too, because it is. I think I'm going to grab you and hold you, but you be the judge.
I will do that. Been speaking with Joe Rosenberg. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend. And again, that's not a green screen. He's actually in Israel.
That's right. Target-rich environment over here. Yeah, thank you.
All right.